The coronation ceremony you didn't attend. Princess Leonor receives her unique prestigious crown from her sweet dad, King Felipe. You probably didn't get an invitation, none of us did. But if you had witnessed the quiet, breathtaking moment that unfolded behind the ancient stone walls of the royal palace in Madrid, you'd still be talking about it today. It wasn't a public coronation, and it wasn't broadcast across Europe. Instead, it was something far more intimate, far more emotional, and far more powerful, a symbolic, private ceremony in which King Felipe VI presented his eldest daughter, Princess Leonor, with a unique and prestigious crown created just for her. And the meaning behind it? That's what will stay with you long after you finish reading. This is the story of the coronation ceremony you didn't attend, but absolutely should know about. A crown unlike any before. For centuries, Spanish monarchs have relied on tradition, ritual, and strict formality to pass power from one generation to the next. But Princess Leonor, Spain's future queen, represents something new, a generation that blends timeless royal responsibility with modern values, female leadership, and global impact. So when King Felipe decided to commission a personalized crown for her, it wasn't meant to replace the historic symbols of the monarchy. It was meant to honor her journey, her duty, and the new era she is destined to lead. Crafted by a team of master goldsmiths in Toledo, the crown of the future queen is a masterpiece in its own right. Designed with softer curves, delicate Florentine goldwork, and a subtle blue sapphire at its center, a nod to the azure of the Bourbon coat of arms, it reflects Leonor's identity, strength wrapped in grace, tradition meeting transformation. But before the world sees it publicly, it was presented privately by the one person who has watched her grow into the leader she is becoming. Her father, her king, her most devoted supporter, the moment between father and daughter. The chambers were lit by warm candlelight, the kind that makes shadows dance gently along tapestries that have witnessed centuries of royal milestones. Princess Leonor arrived wearing a tailored white ceremonial suit, simple but elegant, exactly her style. Her long hair, neatly pulled back, showcased her maturity and the poise she has cultivated throughout her years of training. King Felipe stood waiting, dressed in his full military uniform, the same one he wore on the day he ascended the throne. But this time, he wasn't standing before Parliament or a roaring crowd. He was simply a father standing across from his daughter, holding a crown meant to symbolize everything she is stepping into. As Leonor approached, Philippe's expression shifted. Those who were present say his eyes softened the moment she entered, like he saw not just a princess, not just the heir to the Spanish throne, but the little girl who used to hold his hand while walking the palace corridors. He spoke quietly, not as a king delivering orders, but as a father offering wisdom. You carry not only our history, but our hopes. And I know you will lead with integrity, courage, and compassion. Then he lifted the crown, light, delicate, symbolically feminine, and profoundly regal. He placed it gently upon her head. The room fell silent, no trumpets, no applause, just the extraordinary stillness of legacy passing from father to daughter. Why the ceremony was private? Many will ask why such an important moment took place behind closed doors. The truth is simple. The monarchy, despite all its public duty, still holds on to moments reserved for family. This was one of them. Spain is preparing for Princess Leonor to eventually ascend the throne, but before the protocols, ceremonies, and global spotlight, King Felipe wanted her to experience something deeply personal. He wanted her to receive the crown in a moment free from politics, free from pressure, and full of meaning. This wasn't a coronation of power. It was a coronation of preparation. A ceremony not for cameras, but for the heart. A father telling his daughter, "You are ready." Princess Leonor's emotional response. Those present described Leonor's reaction as a mixture of pride, humility, and surprising emotion. She has always been disciplined, always collected, trained from childhood to uphold royal composure. But as the crown touched her head, she reportedly blinked back tears. Not because she feared the responsibility, but because she felt the weight of her father's trust. She placed her hand over her heart, bowed her head slightly, and whispered, "I will honor Spain, and I will honor your example." King Felipe smiled, a proud father's smile, and placed his hands on her shoulders. In that moment, the ceremony transformed from a symbolic tradition into something far deeper, the passing of confidence, love, and legacy. The significance for Spain and the world. Princess Leonor is not just another heir. She is part of a historical turning point in European royalty. As one of the youngest future queens on the continent, she represents a new generation of leadership, one that values education, diplomacy, empathy, and modernization. This private crowning marks the beginning of her gradual transition into full royal responsibility. And while the public may not have witnessed the event firsthand, the impact of it will ripple outward in the years to come. Because Leonor's reign, when it eventually begins, will not be one that simply copies the past. It will build upon it. She is poised to bring fresh life to the Spanish monarchy, blending centuries-old tradition with the needs of a new world. And this quiet, emotional ceremony was the first step. A moment that will be remembered forever. You may not have been in the room. You may not have known it was happening. But now that you do, you understand why this coronation, this private, heartfelt passing of the crown, matters more than any grand public ceremony could. Because it wasn't about spectacle. It was about connection. A sweet father honoring his daughter. A king preparing his future queen. A crown crafted not just for royalty, but for Leonor herself. And though the world didn't witness it, history certainly will.